passing through Solon right now and Iowa City. And then continuing to the northeast, there's another storm that's just to the east of Tipton there. Sarah, have we seen anything else come on through?
No confirmed sightings quite yet.
All right, so we still have this tornado warning. It goes until 1 p.m. and this is for Cedar and Johnson County. So it is not yet in, nope, nothing else new there, I don't think. Is not yet into Cedar County, and it is going to continue to move to the northeast here. So I'm going to just do another check of the velocity here, the rotation. A little bit of an uptick there. So we do have some bright reds that are going on just to the east of Newport. Not any confirmation. We have had a couple of people out there. There are some storm spotters that are out there, so hopefully if something does happen, we will find out about it. But we right now just have this rotation that's located north of the I-80 area, east of Highway 1, around Newport, and just west of Oasis. So we have seen some images out there of the rotation going on. Can you pop up the Iowa City camera and we can see if we can maybe kind of get any views on that? But we do have that rotation. It's northeast of Iowa City. So Iowa City, you're not in this warning, but Newport, it's east of you where that rotation is. Oasis, definitely want to be taking some precautions here, because even if we don't have a tornado that gets produced, we do have some heavy rain and probably some gusty winds that are going to be coming through. And we do have the possibility that we could have a tornado that is produced with this storm. You can see some of the brighter reds starting to come in here. So we do have, let's see.
You're good, same warning. Sorry.
So let's see if we can get any view on our Iowa City camera. But some of the brighter reds starting to come in there around the Newport areas where we have that kind of cause for concern, where we may see where the rotation may be picking up in that spot right now. So that's why we do have this tornado warning that is issued at the moment. And it'd be areas basically between Newport to Buchanan into Cedar County. So around Oasis, north of West Branch, west of Cedar Valley. And this is the only warning that we do currently have in place. So we haven't had any more reports of funnel clouds at the moment from anyone that is out there, and we'll just continue to keep an eye on that as we go through this warning here that is still in effect until 1 p.m. as we just continue to watch it here. So that's kind of going to have to be the situation at the moment, that we'll have to keep an eye on how this evolves and if we do get any more reports. And
that's Iowa City.
Yeah, great,
do you
perfect.
Want to move it?
That's if you can go on another computer, that would be great.
Yep.
So we do have the road word that is out. I believe Aaron Gearhart is trying to get around to the Highway 1 area, but we're not quite there yet. So we are going to continue to check in on where everyone is and where we can get any reports for the tornado warning that is in effect for Johnson and Cedar counties right now. But as you can see, a lot of rotation going on there at the moment. We don't have any new reports, unfortunately, from the National Weather Service, but fortunately, we do have any reports too. So that also means that that's good news that a tornado is not currently being produced as far as we know, but we do have a lot of this spin going on in the atmosphere. There's a low pressure system moving through these storms that have been ongoing this morning. They moved out, allowed for the atmosphere to destabilize. Some of you may be seeing sunshine right now where you are, but others of us are dealing with the thunderstorm. So we'll zoom back in on this storm here where our tornado warning is. And this is north of the Iowa City area where you see that red polygon. And all right, the Weather Service did say, great. We did see so the road warrior is heading where in Jones County? Highway 1 in Jones County. So trying to get to around the Jones County area so we can see if we can get a view of the storm here. And here's a look at our Iowa City camera. So you can see some of the low clouds around, not really seeing much in the way of rotation. We'll have to see if we can get a view to the northeast there a little bit more, but not really seeing anything that's too much evidence there. But the National Weather Service is saying they received a public report of a tornado near Iowa City and near I-80 and east of Iowa City earlier. So we do have at least confirmation that something had happened, possibly, as there was a report there. So we can take it out to the road warrior and see if we can get any views there. But you can see the storm in the distance there, and really not a lot of movement happening. So not seeing a ton of rotation with it right now, but you can see that the clouds are kind of low to the ground. And when that's the case, that's when you can start to see these tornadoes that do form, or funnel clouds that come out of those clouds there. So we'll just continue to watch it and see how that evolves here. But at least at the moment, we're not sure if there is still something on the ground, but there was a report earlier of a possible tornado on I-80 near Iowa City, so east of Iowa City. So that's why this warning was likely issued. So we'll go back to the radar here and take a look at this. And the tornado warning is for Cedar and Johnson counties. The storm is starting to get into Cedar County there, and we do have the what you can see, some inflow going on here. So east of Newport, we have wind starting to come into the storm here, and that's where you would start to see some of the rotation going on. So when I change this over to our velocity mode, and where we can see rotation, you can see there's a little bit of some reds and greens going on. It's not overly strong, but there's some rotation likely ongoing there. And the Weather Service also was saying that that the rotation isn't, the couplet isn't really strong. So we may be seeing this weekend, and I can back this up and we can maybe look at what it was doing earlier and see, yeah, you can see that there was a little bit brighter reds and greens earlier, and then kind of weakened and picked back up again when we had that warning first get issued. And we're just looking in this area here. So going forward in time, it has been kind of what we call cycling, so kind of going back and forth in intensity. So that's something that we will just have to continue to watch there as we go throughout this morning and into, or throughout this afternoon rather, and into throughout the warning here. So we do have this warning still. If you're just joining us, Iowa City is not in the tornado warning, but we do have a tornado warned storm that is just to the northeast of the Iowa City area, north of West Branch. And have we seen anything from any spotters come through on
Nothing
Twitter
yet.
or anything?
Nope.
All right. Maybe we can see if earlier any of the spotters that were around have any
Sure.
information if they are still in that area. But this is the one warning in our area today. At the moment, we may see some additional ones, but it would be really kind of this batch of storms that would be the ones that would be cause for concern. So we have this line that's coming through from Vinton down to Cedar Rapids, down to Iowa City, and the storms are rotating, have been rotating, have had at least a possibility of producing funnel clouds already today, and we may have already had a tornado touchdown, but currently we don't have any indication that anything is on the ground right now. The Road Warrior is moving out there around the Anamosa area, and can't really see much here, but we're gonna just continue to keep an eye on it and see if we get any more signs of the storm doing anything. But here's a look at Iowa City. All right, well, there's definitely some lowering going on there. So it's possible that we could I get this over the wall on the chroma key, guys? No, can we get the Skycam image at the wall? That would be great. So I just want to point some things out that I'm seeing there. What just came through on the chat?
Trying to watch.
They're issuing a watch.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to have a watch that gets issued. All right, it's getting a little difficult to see on that camera there, but there's definitely some lowering that's going on those storms around the Iowa City area. So it's just to the northeast there where we have the potential of rotation and a possible tornado going on. And
They continued the tornado warning.
so they continue the tornado warning, goes until 1 o'clock. They're still saying that there's a radar indication that there could be a tornado here, but there is not any, at least currently, anything on the ground that they can tell us about. So we do have this rotation still going on just to the southeast of the Solon area, northwest of West Branch, starting to get closer to that Johnson and Cedar County line. So as that happens, we'll just have to see if the storm does continue to rotate and if there are any more reports of any funnel clouds or anything, but it's this zone right here.
There's been a funnel cloud reported in eastern Johnson by a spotter.
Eastern Johnson County. So this is where we're looking. So it's probably in this area that we may be seeing a funnel cloud. Can we see the Skycam maybe get popped up behind me? That would be That would be great. But we do have the rotation here going on where that's likely where the funnel cloud's being produced. So eastern Johnson County, east of Solon, so kind of southeast of the Solon area, and that's where the possibility of a tornado being produced is right now. In this area, yeah, you can hit that, the sky cam scene, and we can see if we do have anything we can see here. So you can see the low clouds here, and maybe some lowering that's been going on, but we that's usually an indication of maybe a wall cloud here and possibly a funnel that's dropping down. So definitely something to keep an eye on in the northeast of Iowa City. So it's not in the Iowa City area, not a concern for Iowa City, but it is going to be northeast of there where we're going to have the concern and where there has been at least a report recently of a funnel cloud being produced in that area.
We're getting,
So funnel cloud report
in Bennett, Iowa.
in Bennett.
That is northeast of Iowa City.
Northeast of Iowa City. Okay.
Yes, so same storm.
Okay. Is there anything on Twitter that maybe we can show that if there are any pictures that have come through, that would be great if you can on Internet One. But they are still saying that there's funnel cloud eastern Johnson County, so around Bennett area, and that's pretty much consistent with what's going on here. So Cedar and Johnson County still under a tornado warning until 1 p.m. Here's a look at that storm, and I can try and zoom in and see if we have any other towns that kind of pop up here.
But a
But
picture popped up.
this is around the Morse area, Morse Road Northeast, heading toward kind of the Cedar Bluff area, the Johnson County, Cedar County line. What else coming through
Just
there
the
now?
tornado watch.
Tornado watch coming in.
Cedar.
And tornado warning, they're saying observed now. So a confirmed tornado located near Solon, 7 miles northwest of West Branch, moving north at 20 miles an hour. So we'll take it over the P-scan do here, pop up this picture, and you can see that there is some lowering. There's a funnel cloud there, and you can see it right here, that funnel. And now they're saying that that has been observed and is touching the ground. So a tornado is on the ground, and that is near the Solon area, but this is southeast of the Solon area where that's likely occurring here and around Morse. So we'll go back to radar. Here's the situation. We have rotation going on around the Morse area, and it is going to be heading to the northeast. Are they saying northeast kind of at around 20 miles an hour? So Cedar Bluff heading towards that area of the Johnson and Cedar County line. So if you live in these areas in eastern Johnson County, western Cedar County, you want to start taking tornado precautions, going inside your home and being prepared for the possibility of a tornado there. So I'm going to put a track on this, and we'll time this out a little bit for you guys, but moving at about 20 miles an hour. And we have just around the Morse area here where the rotation is existing and heading to the northeast. And I'm going to try and extend this out a little bit further. So there's not a lot of towns showing up on our map here, but Cedar Bluff, it would be around 12:56 time frame. So that's why we do have this warning out until 1 p.m. So I'm going to go back to the base radar image here so we can see the warning and the polygon here. So likely southeast of the Solon area, north of Morse, heading around Sutliff, Cedar Bluff. You are in this tornado warning. I'll see if I can see any more towns or any roads that we can maybe pick out here, but it's likely north of Morse Road and around 210th Street Northeast is where we're seeing this rotation. You can see kind of what we look for when we're looking at tornado warnings and tornado inflow coming in, or what we call a hook on a storm. And so winds are getting pulled into the storm here, leading to that rotation that's going on. So tornado warning and confirmed tornado right now is what the National Weather Service is saying. It's hard to say every time if something's on the ground here, but we're starting to see a pickup in these colors. So that's why we have this concern right now. And there's at least been confirmation. We do have, the good news is we have some at least discussion with storm spotters that are out there, and we can get some information from them and see if they have anything else going on. So Weather Service was saying train spotter on Morse Road could see a funnel, so that's exactly what we were just talking about. And they could not tell if it was on the ground, so I'm not sure if that's what they're calling observed, but it's possible that it could have touched down. So one thing that's definitely raising some eyebrows here is that we do have some of this bright red, orange color showing up here. So that's where we may be seeing the rotation still. There's not a lot of the bright greens. So when you see those two meet, that's where you're usually seeing the rotation, but definitely some brightness and some rotation going on in this storm here. I'll take it out, zoom it out a little bit, and we'll show the kind of the wider picture of where this is. So if you live in Solon, North Liberty, Iowa City, you are not in this tornado warning. It is nearby. So it is just east of the Solon area here where that rotation exists. It's heading kind of north-northeast. It's being pushed by this warm front and the low pressure system. So we'll just have to continue to see the motion here, but it is kind of a little northern jog. They might readjust that polygon there to include a little bit of Lynn County possibly. So I would not be surprised to see that happen, just depending on how this continues to go. But we do have at least reports of funnel clouds. And then we also have a FedEx driver that reported a funnel cloud visible from Cedar Bluff, from one of the emergency operation centers in Muscatine. So getting some information here. People are seeing these funnel clouds. We've had multiple reports today of these funnel clouds. So we were talking about Cedar Bluff earlier, and that would make a lot of sense if they could see a funnel cloud from there and looking to the west. So can't see really all that much on our sky cam there. It's probably getting a little too far away, but we do have still this tornado warning that exists. And Sutliff, you're a town too that you're going to want to take some precautions here and get inside and see if you can get into your lowest level of your home basement and just wait this out. It's going to pass on through, but it is heading that way. May just pass south of town there, but definitely some rotation going on there where we're not surprised they're seeing funnel clouds. I don't know that anything's on the ground right now. It's hard to tell from the reports we're getting in. It may just be that there are funnel clouds there, but we do have at least funnels being reported and the possibility that we have already seen tornadoes that have touched down today. Okay, we have another tornado warning that has been issued, and I'm going to just get that information out here, but I think it's just to
1:30.
Oh, okay. So that's on the other side of Cedar County.
Yeah.
So this is for until 1:30. Radar indicated here. I was watching this storm too. It doesn't look terribly organized, but this is Bennett, Iowa. That's in that's where that funnel cloud was reported earlier. So that is including Loudon, Clarence, east of Tipton, and we have a new tornado warning that has been issued now. I'm not seeing a whole lot of organization, but they're saying near Bennett, that's where the report was earlier. I'm not seeing a really strong rotation on this, but that's one we'll be watching. So Loudon, just north of Bennett there, you're going to want to keep an eye on things here as this goes through Cedar County. So 2 tornado warnings currently in effect. Quentin, what did you have to say to me in the booth? Yeah, so we have a DOT camera around the, I'm guessing Johnson County area. Yeah, we can pop that up. Okay, so here is I-80 and Wapsie, so this is heading towards that Cedar County area. And you can see some of the lowering going on there with the storms, and you definitely see the dark clouds. No indication that we have any funnel clouds or anything from this view, but you can see the storminess going on. So if you're in these areas here north of I-80 around Johnson, Cedar counties, this is where these tornado warnings are posted right now. So we have been getting multiple reports of funnel clouds so far. We don't have currently, with the latest update from the Weather Service, any confirmation of a tornado on the ground. But regardless, if you're in these areas, you do want to make sure that you're staying indoors. Don't try to look for these things. They are going to come on through, and the best place for you to be is going to be in your basement, in your safe place, lowest level of your home, away from the windows. We got the road warrior out there trying to see if we can get another view of these storms that are coming through the area, but we do have the dark clouds going on, and we have, of course, rain ongoing too, and these storms are moving along at around 20 to 30 miles an hour. So they're moving to the northeast, not terribly fast, but they are changing rather quickly. So we'll give you an update on what's going on here. Here is kind of the wider view. I'm gonna just zoom it on out and show you guys what is happening. We have a big area of low pressure swirling around. And the reason why we have a concern for tornadoes today is because, well, first of all, the system kind of slowed down. We're expecting it to move through a bit faster, and then as it didn't, we had rain that came through this morning, and then we had clouds that still were in the sky. But even though we didn't see full-on sunshine today, there is a lot of spin in the atmosphere. You can literally see these storms being dragged through to the northeast from this system. So that spin is leading to these funnels being produced. And we are going to continue to keep an eye on the possibility of some of these storms producing tornadoes, or at least the funnel clouds have been being produced. So that's why we have tornado warnings that have been issued. This line of rain is running all the way from Vinton down through just getting to the Cedar Rapids area. So Cedar Rapids, we don't have any warnings in effect right now, but we do have some heavy rain that's about to come into the city, and probably already experiencing some of that at the moment. And some parts of this line are rotating, but not really seeing a terrible amount of rotation around the Cedar Rapids area. Where it's sticking out like a sore thumb is right on the Johnson-Cedar County line. We've had reports already, and funnel clouds, possibly a tornado, and we are going to continue to just have to watch and see how this storm goes. So I know the Road Warrior is working on getting to Mechanicsville to try and see if we can get a view of this, and we are going to see if we can get any more information about it. But Aaron Gearhart is in the Road Warrior right now in Cedar County, going to the Mechanicsville area, try and get in front of the storm so we can get a view of it from the Road Warrior. And can't see much at the moment. You can actually see some of the breaks in the clouds maybe out there, but that's why we kind of have those concerns for today. Any of the sunshine that we did get helped the atmosphere destabilize a bit. So right now, rotation is ongoing southeast of Sutliff in Johnson County, starting to cross over into the Cedar County line. Here, I'm going to have you guys take P-Scan here. And we do have a photo from the Graham Township, northeast of Iowa City. And you can see, I mean, that's pretty low to the ground. I think we were kind of seeing that on our sky cam. You can see the funnel dropping down. So that's that was about 10 minutes ago. So it's possible the storm continues to produce funnel clouds. That looks pretty low to the ground. It's hard to tell sometimes. Hard to say that was touching down, but we do have the possibility that we're seeing these touch down. And we are going to have this rotation now enter the Cedar County area. That's where the concern is going to lie now. So it's starting to wind down in Johnson County, but it still exists there, just south of Sutliff, northwest of Cedar Bluff. And Cedar Bluff, you're not necessarily in the risk for a tornado, but northwest of there may be seeing some of the indication of rotation and such. And Quentin in the booth there, could you make sure you're just communicating with Gearhart and the Road Warrior so we get so we know what's going on? He's telling me he's around Mechanicsville, about to get ahead of that storm there, so we should start to get a view of it. All right, now the Weather Service once again says that tornado warning for Cedar and Johnson counties confirmed. So a confirmed tornado located near Solon. And that is moving at about 20 miles an hour to, they say, the northeast. So we'll continue to track this storm. I haven't seen any reports out of the other one in eastern Cedar County, but this is just east of the Sutliff area. So I'm going to show you where Solon is. So Solon's back west here. So the concern is east of Solon, southeast of Sutliff, northwest of Cedar Bluff, this area. So if you're in the Sutliff area, I'd get inside, and this is going to pass through in the next couple of minutes, but we do have these storms that are coming on through the area, and it's going to continue to the north. I'm going to put a tracker on this, but the rotation located just basically on the Cedar and Johnson County line. We don't really have a lot of towns around this area. But if you do live in the areas outside of Cedar Bluff, around Mechanicsville, this is where the concern is for a tornado that they're now saying is observed. And what I'm going to guess is that we do have at least some funnel clouds that have been kind of dropping down, maybe going periodically, and we're just going to have to kind of keep an eye on that storm as it goes on through there. And we do have a lot of spin in this area, a lot of wind shear going on. I do want to check in with this other storm that is in eastern Cedar County. So Loudon, you are in this tornado warning here, and it would be south of Loudon where the rotation likely exists. Not really seeing well-defined rotation, but it's possible that we are seeing some rotation happening where tornado would be possible southwest of the Loudon area. Okay, so we will take a look at the Road Warrior now for the storm that is located in eastern Johnson County into Cedar County, and you can definitely see some of the lowering there. And I mean, I see a funnel cloud. Can I be on the wall? Would that be possible with the Road Warrior? Getting into some kind of hilly areas there, but we do have You can see some lowering going on there. And so this is the Mechanicsville area looking towards that storm. And is it possible for me to get popped up here? With the road warrior behind me, that would be super. But we do have this rotation just starting to get, so Mechanicsville is over here. And we're looking at this storm. So rotation is just crossing the Johnson Cedar County line there. And I mean, definitely some lowering here, maybe a funnel coming out there. It's kind of hard to see. Aaron's trying to get a look there of everything going on, but definitely see low cloud bases here. Yeah, possibly some lowering clouds, some maybe scud clouds trying to come down to the ground, wall cloud here. So there's the base of the storm, really low base, and maybe some funnels trying to drop down here. But I mean, you can see some of these clouds trying to get down to the ground. So there's definitely some rotation. It's not overly strong. You know, sometimes we see these storms that are really cycling around, but nothing overly strong. Sarah, we have anything else from the?
We have a rotating wall cloud in Loudon.
Loudon, okay.
Iowa.
So that's the other storm here. So that's the one in the far east that we were talking about in far eastern Cedar County. This is more in what will be western Cedar County. So we have both sides of the county here. So yeah, we can get a look at the wall cloud here, and I don't see anything that it's hard to say if anything is touching down. Is Aaron? So yeah, so Aaron was saying mid-level rotation going on. So likely you're seeing more of the rotation up here rather than down to the ground, but definitely some lowering happening. It doesn't necessarily mean that anything's touching down at the moment, but you can definitely see the lowering that's ongoing there, and we'll just have to keep an eye on this, but really hard to tell if anything is touching down to the ground, but possibly getting something. Yep, he's zooming in on that. Possibly getting funnel cloud coming out down here, but the wall cloud there, that's where we do have the concern here for tornado being produced. So this is still out of the Mechanicsville area, and definitely seeing lowering happening. Ooh, maybe right here, but it's certainly possible that we're going to see some funnel clouds come out and possibly a tornado touchdown. But that's why we have this concern. I'm going to take it back to Max 1 so I can at least show people where this is. But this is south of Lisbon. Sarah, can you go in and zoom in on that for me, please? So south of Lisbon, and if we can get Mechanicsville on the map. So Aaron's here. We're looking at the rotation this way. So that is where there's a funnel cloud going on and would be heading toward the Mechanicsville area. So if you're in Mechanicsville, you do want to be inside, lowest level of your home, basement, anything like that, away from the windows. Don't want to try and look at this because it's going to come on through. We don't want to be out in a tornado warning. This is going to come through. Tornado warning still in effect till 1 p.m. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets extended. And that is where we're looking at the rotation. Can we go back to the road warrior and see what is going on there? But yeah, still some low clouds. So when we're talking about low clouds, we're talking about wall clouds. It's a lowering, basically the precursor to a tornado happening. You have wall cloud, a funnel cloud, and then a tornado that touches down. That funnel cloud touching down to the ground is a tornado. So I don't see anything coming out of this right now.
We have an updated tornado warning. Do you want to go back to the?
So what is that for? So they extended this one till 1:30?
Correct.
Okay, so this, as I just mentioned, till 1:30 has been extended. So we're gonna get a good look at this here. So if anything happens, we should know. So that is good, but we are going to have to continue to keep an eye on this. Tornado warning has been extended. I'm assuming mostly just for Cedar County until 1:30, is that what it is?
Correct.
So Cedar and Jones counties. So that goes into Jones County. So here is the latest with the polygons. So I'm going to take you to another view of this. And just to show you, normally when we're looking at tornado warned storms, we're looking for, thunderstorms usually. There's not a whole lot of lightning going on with these. So what's really driving this is the rotation in the atmosphere and the low, the winds that are going on, the spin that's going on in the atmosphere, the low pressure system. And that's what's driving this now. So I'm guessing they're going to let this warning expire that's down to the south and going to take over this one that's heading toward Mechanicsville and extended it into Jones County. Then we have this one to the east here, east of Tipton, and around the Loudon area, there's been a report of a rotating wall cloud. So we do have just multiple storms we have to keep an eye on here, and I'll take you to The one that I think is of most concern, just to kind of update things, and if Aaron tells you guys he sees anything, please let me know. But southwest of Mechanicsville, rotation starting to loosen a little bit, so that's good news, but still seeing some bright reds and some bright greens going on just around here east of Sutliff, almost due east of Sutliff. And that's where now, as this heads to the northeast toward Mechanicsville, we do have the concern for a tornado possibly being produced or some additional funnel clouds. Did they say that was just radar indicated with the warning that came out? Okay, so we're not seeing any confirmation of a tornado right now, but this goes until 1:30 for now, Cedar and Jones County. So I'll take you to the polygon so we can see the towns that are affected by this, but it is Mechanicsville, not Lisbon, Morley, north or south rather of Olin, and northwest of Stanwood. So Mechanicsville is really the town that we're going to be watching here, and that would be heading your way, that rotation there, and the town of Morley. So it's not yet to Highway 30, but sitting to the south of Highway 30 now is where the rotation is ongoing. Then we have this tornado warning to the east, and this one is until 1:30 as well, but we'll be getting out of the area. But Loudon, you are the one that's kind of under the gun for this one if we do have anything that were to be produced. There have been reports of a rotating wall cloud. As we talked about, the lowering that's going on there, you can see some of the bright greens that just picked up. We're really close to the radar, so it's giving me a little bit of a tough time, but I don't see any indication that we have really strong rotation going on there. But at Loudon, that is where the concern is right now for the possibility of a tornado and rotation that is ongoing. All right, let's go back to the road warrior, and I can't really see much, but he's trying to drop south a little bit so we can get a view of the storm, but with seeing so yeah, there's definitely a lot of rain going on, so it's tough to see. But if you pop me up here with the road warrior behind me, if we could. All right, now we're getting into some houses and such, but you could almost see a little bit of debris trying to get kicked up, and it's possible that maybe something's touched down in here. It's really hard to tell, but yeah, now that we got into, you can see the whole storm here, and it is rain wrapped, so if anything were touching down, it'd be very difficult to see, and that's not a situation that we want to be in, because we'd like to know what's going on. So that's even more reason to not be outside, but it's possible that something may be touching down here, but you can see the low cloud bases and the rain that's ongoing there. So hard to tell right now, and kind of going through town here and trying to see if he can maybe get a better view. But we'll go back to the radar while he tries to readjust there. And he's in that area around Mechanicsville, and I'm not seeing the rotation's still there, but I'm not seeing anything that's overly strong that's going to lead to a huge cause for concern, but definitely existing. So we do have still tornado warning ongoing there. Southwest of Mechanicsville is where that rotation is, and we do have the just a view there, trying to see if we can get an idea of what exactly is going on. I'm going to go on our Facebook feed to see if anybody has any questions. If you were to go to our Facebook page and you have a question about anything, we are streaming live there too, and we can help answer anything. All right, so that latest scan actually did not show me much. So it does look like the rotation's loosening a little bit, but still some southwest of the Mechanicsville area. So we'll take it back to the road warrior, or Aaron has a view of this thing, so we can kind of see if he has any idea of what's going on. If you guys can pop that up. So he's saying he's basically in it or around it, and it's heading that way. I mean, we have rain that's starting to go into the Mechanicsville area, so you can see the heavy rain that's ongoing, the dark clouds going on too. Sarah, did you get an update from the Weather Service there?
No, nothing.
Okay. So we don't have any indication that this storm is producing a tornado right now, but the concern would be right around the Mechanicsville area, or just southwest really of the Mechanicsville area, south of Highway 30, east of Sutliff, and heading to the north. So Mechanicsville over the next, I'd say maybe 15 minutes, you're probably going to see the worst of this thing come on through. And then we have this storm that's out to the east, starting to see some bright spots here around Loudon, and that's where the other tornado warned storm is for Cedar going into Clinton County. So taking out to the reflectivity here of the radar, and Loudon would probably be where some of that rotation is occurring. I'm not seeing really well-defined rotation, which is good news. I mean, there's likely not something being produced, but we have seen reports of rotation and funnel cloud, or at least a wall cloud in that area.
I have a picture up if you want it.
Is this from?
This is from Wheatland.
Wheatland?
So yeah.
So is that far?
It's This one.
It's
It's in here. It's right
the
over
eastern
here.
one?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so we'll go to the P-Scan-Do and we can see the storm, west of the Wheatland area. And you can see a lot of the lowering there and what we call scud clouds. They're kind of scary looking clouds. So that's where there may have been some lowering going on. You can definitely see a wall cloud there too. We'll go back to the Road Warrior. All right, there you can see the spin of this storm right there. And could we pop me up at the wall with this? And that would be great. And we do have right now the storm rotating. You can see that for sure. And we do have we don't have anything being produced out of this, but you can surely see this right here is the wall cloud. This is the storm by the Mechanicsville area that is going to be continuing to move here toward Mechanicsville. You can see just the rotation going on, the wall cloud here, some lowering possible. Is this the west? He's looking west toward, yes.
The Lisbon fire chief reported a tornado on the ground south of Sutliff
Okay,
in Johnson County.
So they're
Johnson
saying
County.
tornado on the ground?
Correct.
All right, so they're saying a tornado's on the ground east of Sutliff. And that
Correct.
would be the storm that we're
South of Sutliff.
south of Sutliff.
Yes.
So that would be this storm here. So is
Correct.
so Aaron's not seeing anything, and he's looking north from Mechanicsville. Is that correct? I'm sorry, I don't have a ton of communication from him, or with him. I don't have direct communication, so that would be really great. But we can see maybe some funnels trying to come out here, but we do have lowering going on. Let me see if we have that tornado warning ongoing. They're saying that that there has been a report of a tornado. So let's go back to the radar here. And so south of Sutliff?
Correct.
Okay.
According to the fire department in Johnson County
So, and when was that reported?
at 12:58.
At
12:40
12:58.
I apologize, 12:43.
12:43. So that was a bit ago. So it's possible that
It's gone.
we did have, so that's at least we know that that wasn't what we should have been actively looking at. But we did see some of that lowering going on. We saw the funnel clouds are being reported. So about 20 minutes ago, we did have confirmation, or a report at least, of a tornado that touched down. So that's why these storms, we do have tornado warnings on them, and we're just keeping an eye on things. But you can surely see the rotation that's ongoing there, and that's why we are still experiencing this tornado warning. But around the Mechanicsville area, and we have a lot of rain that's going on in this storm too. Not a lot of lightning going on, but Aaron got a view there. We can go back to the Road Warrior, and we could see that. Okay, so he's looking back around. So he was, I think, getting on the south side of that storm so he could see it, but that was, surely still rotation going on, and didn't see any funnels immediately coming out of it, but we've seen multiple reports now of possible touchdowns and multiple reports of funnels. So Mechanicsville, you do want to be in your safe place in shelter right now, because we have this storm that is capable of producing a tornado and has possibly already done so today. So you can see from the Road Warrior here, once we get past the trees, still those low clouds going on there. So this is near the Mechanicsville area. It almost looks like there's a funnel cloud. Maybe not quite, but you can see that storm there. You can see some of the rotation going on, and it's almost a little bit high off the ground that nothing's too close at the moment, but surely we were just showing you that rotation that was going on there, and that the possibility that it could produce again. But a lot of rain going on too, so it may be difficult to see if something does happen. So around the Mechanicsville area, that is where the strongest storm at the moment is. That's where we've gotten multiple reports of funnel clouds and possibly tornadoes going on between Sutliff and Mechanicsville right now. And we don't have anything confirmed at the moment, but we do still have this tornado warning, that rotation. Aaron is basically showing you what we see on the radar here. So that's true confirmation of that bright red there, the spin that was going on with that storm in the atmosphere. So the Weather Service, let's just read this, that the fire chief in Lisbon reported it reported a tornado south of Sutliff, multiple reports and photos in the same area. And Aaron out on the road warrior is saying you can see a funnel kind of high up in the ground. I was kind of seeing that too, high up in the air rather, not on the ground. But there's definitely rotation going on and the possibility that we do see some more funnels that get produced here, but nothing that's close to the ground quite yet. But you can see, well, the blue skies to the east, and then the storm here. So yeah, I mean, you can see kind of a little bit of the funnel trying to come down there, the wall cloud, surely, and not terribly fast rotation, but certainly enough that it could do something here. So there's a bit of a funnel trying to drop down. Yeah. Yeah, if I could talk back to Aaron, that would be great. But so Aaron, that just on the left side of your screen there, that's what you're seeing, that funnel cloud that's getting close to the ground?
Yeah, it's just slightly west of Mechanicsville, and the rotation's trying to tighten up,
Yeah.
but it just kept cycling. But as you can see right
Yep,
now,
that
it's
funnel.
starting to get a little tighter.
We have a
there, and it's
funnel cloud
lowering.
right there.
And this is right over Mechanicsville.
Yes, so right around the Mechanicsville area, that is where we may be seeing a tornado touching down here. So Sarah, can you let the Weather Service know that we have this live right now, just so they can maybe watch and see. So funnel cloud right here. What we're going to watch for is any debris that comes to the ground and maybe gets kicked up. So Mechanicsville, right on Mechanicsville area, that is where we have a funnel cloud right now. This is a precursor to a tornado. And you can see it starting to tighten up. This is the ground, so it's not quite there, but we may start to see some of that pick up. Aaron, what else have you been seeing out there? Have you seen multiple funnels come down?
I saw it trying maybe 10 minutes ago when it was still southwest of Mechanicsville, but it hadn't gotten any strength to at this point. This is definitely coming down to the ground.
Yes.
I cannot see
Okay.
if there would be any debris because there's a hill over here, but it is definitely dropping, and I'm going to have to relocate.
Okay, yes, do that. But we have a funnel cloud right here, and we have a funnel that's going to be coming down to the ground. So we're gonna have to let him get to a safe place, and that is the Mechanicsville area. Funnel cloud dropping down close to the ground, possibly going to have a tornado touch down around the Mechanicsville area. You just saw that funnel cloud coming lower down to the ground, the rotation increasing. So we'll have Aaron get to another spot there. But right over Mechanicsville is where we may be seeing a tornado touchdown, a funnel cloud touchdown and become a tornado. So a tornado warning, that is Mechanicsville. That is where we do have the possibility of seeing a tornado right now, just around the Highway 30 area where that brightness is. And we have the Weather Service even saying they're getting reports of funnels from the Mechanicsville area. There you go. There you can see this funnel cloud dropping down to the ground. We're not that close that we can say that that's a tornado, but it is possible because it is getting close to the ground. So this is the Mechanicsville area right now. So that has kind of a little bit more of a high base to it, but we do have that tornado coming down, or possibly coming down, funnel cloud coming really close to the ground now, that may be producing a tornado.
They just said the same thing.
They're just updating and not saying, they're not saying anything confirmed yet from the Weather Service. We're watching it. If you need to know, we have it right here. And if, yep, I mean, that is getting low to the ground. So here you go, Mechanicsville. If you are in Mechanicsville, you need to be in a safe place right now. This is likely going to touch down. It's possible. Can we get Aaron back and see if he can see anything more?
See any debris?
You're seeing debris?
I don't see debris
You don't
yet,
see
no.
debris? Okay.
But it's
so
getting close.
It is very close to the ground.
No, not
so
yet.
He'll be the first one to tell you. He should be able to see a pretty good view of if we do start to get debris. Anything that kicks up from the ground, that would tell us that a tornado has touched down. But you see this funnel cloud here getting closer down to the ground. It has kind of a high base to it, so we'll see if it does drop down. But until that happens, then we just have a funnel cloud here. But that is showing you we have rotation going on. We have the wall cloud, the funnel cloud, and what the next step is if this gets low enough.
Kind of cycling.
It looks like it's kind of retreating a little bit. So that's good news. But Mechanicsville, you're not out of the woods here.
The rotation's still there in the mid-levels.
Yeah, you can see up high. So that's the thing that we've been seeing a lot of today. I've been seeing a lot of these funnel clouds happen high up in the ground. So that looks like it's lifting a little bit higher up now. Aaron, what road are you on?
It's starting to tighten up now. The funnel's starting to drop even more.
Aaron, what road are you on?
Uh, I want to say it's Fox Road. It's
Okay.
it's just west of the road that heads to Tipton.
Okay. So you're looking right
I'll
here
be
at
going
this
into
funnel
Mechanicsville
cloud.
proper here in a minute.
So we're heading towards the city of Mechanicsville. So this is where the funnel cloud is located. So if you're in Mechanicsville, maybe you've seen it.
It looks like it's north of Mechanicsville now.
All right, so that would be probably consistent with what we've been seeing on the radar too, that it's north of Mechanicsville area. But here's the funnel, and it's become a little just kind of tighter, so not as wide as what we saw earlier, but it's still possible that could come down to the ground a little bit more. Aaron, are you seeing it still dropping down or going maybe higher up now? Hard to tell.
It's still rotating, but it's about to be obscured.
Okay, so let's take it back to the radar.
There's some rotating scud that's kind of obscuring me when
Okay.
I'm going through town.
Yeah, it's hard to tell there. So if we could pop me up back on the wall here too with the radar, and we do have that rotation, as he is mentioning, kind of north of the Mechanicsville area, and that is where we do have that's where that would likely be occurring there. So that's where we did have that funnel cloud that was reported. So this is until 1:30, and it's about to go closer to the Jones County line. So we are looking, that's where we were looking at Mechanicsville, and it's north of Highway 30 now, and west of Stanwood, and heading to the northeast.
The Weather Service has officially confirmed it as a tornado northeast 20 miles per hour.
So they're saying confirmed tornado near Mechanicsville, over Mechanicsville, and they're saying it was observed. So they have a spotter that did pass that information along. So we were just looking at it. So if that was a tornado, then we have that tornado. And if Aaron gets another view of it, then that would be great. But it does look like that there's definitely been kind of some cycling to it up and down. Does Aaron still have a view? Okay, so he's passing through Mechanicsville, but Mechanicsville, right over you, is where a tornado has been reported. And now he's saying the funnel cloud did go back up. So we did have that confirmation, but it's possible, as Aaron said the word cycling, that we do have the possibility that we could see it come back down again. And I've seen the rotation loosen a little bit here. If we go to the P-scan view, we have another view of it, of the tornado there. Basically same thing we were showing you. And you can see the funnel cloud and just dropping down. So it's possible that that was down for a little bit, and we saw it really pretty close to the ground there. It was hard to say if there was debris, but good news is that it didn't look like it was in a very overly populated area, so that's good. Then we have that other warning that's to the east still too. But let's check in with Aaron and see the road warrior if he has another view of anything of that storm. All right, so there's the wall cloud.
It is on the ground.
It's on the ground. Oh,
It
I
is
see
on
it.
the ground.
Yep.
It's tight
Okay.
and small.
All right, so we have a tornado on the ground here around the
This is
Mechanicsville area.
northwest of Mechanicsville.
Northwest of Mechanicsville. Okay, here's the tornado here, and you can see some of the rotation up here, and we now have confirmation this is still on the ground here. So it's been going up and down as we were talking about there.
It's bouncing up and down,
It's
but I
bouncing
saw
up and
debris,
down?
so I would
Okay.
confirm that.
So we have debris that has been reported now. We've had multiple people tell us that they've seen the tornado and the funnel clouds here. So it is difficult to see with the rain that's ongoing. But can you zoom in any more on that, Aaron? There you can see the rotation going on. And
I'm
yep.
trying to. I'm going to have to stop here to keep a safe distance.
Yeah, do that for sure. But you can see the rotation happening and likely seeing funnels that are dropping down out of this wall cloud here, and any dustiness or debris that we see it getting kicked up. Good news is this does look like, I mean, it's at least in a field, but it's possible that...
Yeah, there is debris in the field. I wish I could get it on
I
camera,
see that.
but I can see
I
dust
could
getting
see it
picked
a
up
little
on the
bit right
field.
before you got past that hill. All right, there's a tornado.
All right, I'm stopping right now.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, it is difficult to see, but you can see the spin going on. And maybe some debris. Is that debris getting kicked up or is that rain? It's definitely hard to tell.
It's a bit of debris getting picked up. It dropped down just slightly, and then it went back up.
Yeah,
So it's in there.
So,
It's just
I mean,
it keeps cycling.
We got to treat this as if the tornado's on the ground here, because we're going to continue to possibly see this go up and down.
Correct.
But here is the wall cloud that is spinning. I mean, yeah, you can show that whole picture there. And you can see kind of these little clouds coming down, little maybe funnels trying to drop down here. And this is right, were you saying northwest of Mechanicsville, Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about northwest. It's about to be directly north.
Okay.
Northwest.
So we're going due north of Mechanicsville. This is going to go into Jones County. So that's the next one that's on tap here, going into southern Jones County. And oh, there you can see a little bit dropping down once again too.
It's going to cross Garfield Avenue north of Mechanicsville.
Garfield Avenue. Okay. So we have all this spin going on. Is that another funnel dropping down there, Aaron?
It's definitely lowering more. It's trying to get broader tightening coming down rather than a little funnel. It looks like almost the whole structure is coming down.
Yeah, the wall cloud's definitely been
it's
dropping.
Not, the winds are strong,
Yeah.
but I'm not seeing a confirmation of a tornado. There is a lot of rain and dust getting kicked up right now.
You can see this whole thing spinning here, and you see these little fingers that are trying to drop down a little bit. So if any of these become strong enough, the rotation becomes tight enough, then that's going to come on down to the ground and be a tornado. So we do have, we have homes out here. A lot of this is fields, but we are going to have to, continue to watch as it continues to rotate. And you can see some little funnels maybe trying to drop down here. This is north of the Mechanicsville area, north of Mechanicsville in Cedar County going towards Jones County. And we've had confirmation of a tornado. Aaron's a storm chaser, been doing it for years and years, and just has told us that there's been debris on the ground there. We've had multiple reports. Can still see.
I'm moving, guys.
All right. Can still see some of the funnels trying to come down. So if Aaron can continue to get us a view of that, let's go back to the radar and we'll see. We can track it that way for now.
I have a picture in Mechanicsville too.
Okay, so we got Mechanicsville north of you, heading towards that Jones County line. That's where the rotation is. We got to treat this like we still have tornadoes going on because we've seen multiple reports going on. Is that on? So that's from Solon. We have a video from the Solon area, so that was probably earlier today. Can we go to the picture on RP Scandu here in the Weather Center? And here is a picture of the tornado in Mechanicsville, and you can actually see some of the debris in that photo, right? So you can see some of the debris kicked up toward that cloud, and you can see the blue sky in the background. So that was likely a tornado that was on the ground there. We've had multiple reports of it. All right, we'll go back to the Road Warrior, and Aaron's saying he has rotation. Can we get the Road Warrior now? All right, so.
I'm obstructed by police right now. He's blocked off the road, but it is passing right in front of me.
Okay, so we have rotation
get a
passing
better
right
view here.
on this road. You know what road you're on?
Yeah, I'm still on the Garfield Avenue. It'd be County Road X40, I think.
Okay. So police are usually out because they're trying to spot too. So they're just trying to get some information as well. But where's the rotation? You can see the winds starting to pick up here in the grass.
The rotation, if there's any rotation, it's coming right over Garfield Avenue, this county road. I think we have a tornado. It looks like the structure has dropped down completely. If you can see this, just over on the left of the road here.
Yeah, right here. Yes. Okay, there's a tornado. There you go. There's a tornado right now. It was hard to see if that was getting picked out. So hard to tell because of the clouds in the background, but it looks like this is a tornado
This is just
that is
south
on
of
the
Morley,
ground.
between Morley and Mechanicsville.
Morley and Mechanicsville. So you can see the rotation going on here. Tornado north of Mechanicsville, County Road X40 is where it's likely going to pass over here. So this is going to continue to move to the north. You can see more of the rain out here, and we'll see if we can see any other debris or anything that is coming out of this. But
It's
definitely.
getting hard to. It's getting very rain wrapped.
Yeah, it is getting very rain wrapped. Very difficult to see. Can you see any debris, Aaron?
I can definitely see some dust getting kicked up and some leaves getting blown off the top of the tree canopy over there, but beyond that, no.
Yeah, it's getting real
And
difficult
now
to see.
the rain wrapping is coming up here, so I'm gonna have to reposition.
Is that gonna cross the road there? It looks like it.
Yeah, it's gonna cross this road. I'm not sure how far from Morley it is, but it is between Mechanicsville and Morley on County Road X40.
Okay. So we're seeing what's possibly still a tornado on the ground here, and it is, hard to see at the moment because it's getting rain wrapped. So when rain starts to come down, basically surrounds that, it is very difficult to see what's going on. So we'll take it back to the radar if possible to show what's going on. So there's Morley, And we do have the that confirmation there that we at least have something going on with either a tornado or a funnel cloud going on. Can I get popped up on the wall? And Sarah, could you drag that down so we could see Morley?
Sure.
And we do have, nope, up, I meant, sorry.
No, you're good.
So we do have that rotation going on, and that's Mechanicsville down to the south there. And we do have just crossing into the Jones County line where the rotation is. So we do have Mechanicsville to the north, Morley, and that rotation right in there.
The other warning into Clinton County goes to 2 p.m.
Okay, so we had that other warning going on there. They're still saying observed tornado over Mechanicsville, moving northeast at 20 miles an hour. So Morley, Olin, around the Hale area, that's where we have the concern for a tornado. We've shown you the tornado. So if you are in the path of this storm, I'm going to zoom in here. So it's north of Mechanicsville now. Mechanicsville, you are out of this. It's into Jones County. So that's where Aaron is on County Road X40, south of Morley. And he's trying to get a view of this for us, but it is going to be heading around the Morley to Olin areas here. And that is where we have the greatest concern at the moment. So that is until 2 p.m. tornado warning still ongoing there with a confirmed tornado. Another part of Cedar County, we did have some of that rotation that left to the east. That's in Clinton County. That's out of our area now. So we don't have any other warnings in place. This is for Cedar and Jones counties. And that is until 2 p.m. So north of Mechanicsville now, Mechanicsville, you are in the clear, but north of you is where there is still possibly a tornado on the ground. And I'll have to see if we can get a view from Aaron there. But have we had any reports, Sarah, of any damage, anything else coming from the Weather Service?
Just some debris now.
So they're saying that they've, damage from Morse possibly. So confirmed tornado near Morley, that's where we've been telling you. And we do have still northeast at 20 miles an hour, that tornado warning. And this is mostly leaving the Cedar County area and heading into Jones County. So around Morley to Olin is where we now have the concern. Cedar Rapids, warning point of tornado on the ground.
Cedar
moving
County.
north. So Cedar County, that must be what they mean. Mechanicsville, they had tornado on the ground moving north at 103. We've shown you, we probably showed you that around the same time too. So we've had multiple reports here from the Mechanicsville area. Does Aaron have a view still? Okay, so we do have this Morley, just south of Morley, where the rotation does exist. And we are going to continue to have to watch this storm as it has been cycling, possibly still producing a tornado, just still kind of riding along County Road X40. So if you live near County Road X40 in Jones County, that is where the concern is right now. And the tornado is likely still on the ground. You can see this little tight rotation going on. So that is where the Weather Service is watching right now for the greatest concern and where a tornado may be occurring. I'm going to go to a product called correlation coefficient, and can't really see much here. So what this is, this looks crazy, but what this is it would show us any debris, any possibility that we could see any debris that's basically something that's not rain, it's not wind, and maybe a little dot there that could be some debris and some confirmation of a tornado there. But otherwise, we've seen it multiple times. That latest scan maybe has loosened it a little bit, but I wouldn't let your guard down because this storm has been, as we've been referring to it as, cycling and has been going back and forth in intensity. So we do have that still ongoing there, and the possibility that we are still dealing with the tornado on the ground. So north of the Mechanicsville area now, around the Morley to Olin area. And we have the road warrior still out, and he's going to continue to see if we can get a view of this. But here's kind of a wide view of that storm. So south of the Morley area, so he's now basically behind it as it's continuing to move to the north. So he's going to try and maybe see if we can cut to the east there. But we have the lowering that's going on here. You can see the rain, and It's hard to see if we have anything still ongoing because of all the rain that's going on there, but definitely some lowering of the clouds. I know he's getting into some fuzziness there, but still on County X40, County Road X40, where that is basically kind of riding along there. So we have to just treat this like we do have still a tornado on the ground around the Morley to Olin areas. And do we have any, what else is the Weather Service?
Nothing on this storm.
Yeah. So we do continue to have this tornado warning and possibly still a tornado on the ground. We have seen it observed and confirmed multiple times. We showed you right here just a little bit ago, that tornado and the funnel cloud coming down to the ground. So just south of the Morley area, we'll zoom back in here, just east of County Road X40. And they are just saying radar indicated at this point. So did see kind of a loosening of the couplet of the rotation, and it's possible that we are not going to still have one on the ground, but the storm may pick up in intensity once again. And the road warrior is still out there. Aaron's going to try and see if he can get into another position to see it, but we do have a lot of rain with it too. So I'm going to take you to the radar view of it. And does he see it? There's some damage that Aaron just said he passed by. So he did see, what was it, a shed that was damaged on County Road X40. So that's confirmation that a tornado did come on through. Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
Yes, and trees knocked down by that shed on X40.
Okay, so that's just south of the Morley area.
It was a large outhouse, like a farmer's outhouse.
I mean, we're in this.
That was just south of Morley on that county highway.
We're in this rural area here where, I mean, unfortunately, some farm buildings, and so we have the shed that was also, now he's saying destroyed there, south of the Morley area. If you want to let the Weather Service know, Sarah, that'd be great. But we do have still possibility of that.
It wasn't destroyed, it had a caved-in roof.
Caved-in roof.
And structural damage.
Structural damage. Okay, so not totally destroyed. But, so, Aaron, what are you seeing in terms of the rotation with this now? I mean, it's rain wrapped, but what do you see?
Yeah, I mean, I do still see the rotation is still present. I'm inside the mid-level mezzo here, but when it comes to seeing where the Titan rotation would be, it's completely rain wrapped, just around Morley.
And it's been cycling too, so it's picking up just a little bit to the east of Morley, between Morley and Olin. And it's possible that maybe we're still getting that, but it's definitely not
and
as...
I'm trying to get myself positioned there.
Yeah, it's definitely not as strong as what we were seeing earlier when we were seeing that funnel cloud. So we do still have that rotation ongoing, and we now have confirmation that there was damage south of the Morley area on highway, on County Road X40. So that is where we do have confirmation that tornado passed through there, and now hard to say if it is still on the ground. But what's going on when we're talking about rain wrapped is that all this rain that's falling is obstructing the view of what's going on inside where all that rotation is currently. So that's definitely something that is an issue, and we do have to just continue to watch this and see what exactly happens as it comes on through. So we do have still on just near the Morley area some rotation going on, still this tornado warning that's ongoing, and that is until, I believe, is it 1:30 or is there one that goes till 2?
There's one that goes till 2.
Okay, so that goes until 2 p.m. as we continue to watch this here. So we don't have any other information from the Weather Service at the moment, but it is the Morley area, and that's kind of starting to leave the County Road X40 area. Just did kind of a jog there, and County Road E45 between Morley and Olin is where the rotation is right now. So right about here. And it's not incredibly strong, so that is good news that maybe it's loosened up here a little bit, but we do have still some rotation ongoing, and we will see if we can kind of get an update. Oh, there's another one that also doesn't look as strong, so that's some good news too. So maybe this is going to kind of loosen up here a little bit, and the tornado threat will wind down. But we've seen it before that it's produced a tornado, it didn't produce a tornado, it did, kind of back and forth thing, what we call cycling. So it's possible that we could still get another tornado that is produced from the system. But I am going to back things out here. And we have tornado warnings that are into the far eastern part of the state. So this is just out of our area, but this is into the just out of Cedar County into Clinton County. And there hasn't been any confirmation, if you are watching for this area in the far east, there hasn't been any confirmation of tornado here. There have been some funnel cloud, or some wall clouds rather. Then there's more tornado warnings that extend into Illinois. But this is a big low pressure system that is basically kind of driving the bus here today. So as this is passing through, it has been producing a lot of wind shear, a lot of spin in the atmosphere, and that's what's been producing those tornadoes so far today. And once we get past this line, we're likely not going to see much else in terms of severe weather in the area. But if this continues to go to the northeast, it just depends, because we've had a lot of rain already today, and the atmosphere maybe is stabilized up this way. But Sarah, did we get that tornado watch? Did that come through for the area? Do we have one?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so we haven't even been able to get to that, but that's telling us, so it's in far eastern Iowa, and we will try and get that maybe map updated, if you can update it on Max too, and I can, I can show it
Do you
here,
just want
can't
to show
I?
that? Okay.
So what time does it go until?
The watch.
Yes.
1 second.
Okay. So we do have a tornado watch that's going on, and then here's another look from the Road Warrior.
Nice.
8 p.m.
Yes, Aaron.
8 p.m. Rebecca.
I don't know what, I don't have a radar up, but this is not attached to the main storm we were just looking at.
Are you looking towards
This
the
is
east, towards
southeast of Olin.
southeast of Olin? I was seeing a little bit of rotation here, so there's another funnel
There
that's
must have
coming
been
down.
another cell that came up.
It might have just been that it split a little bit, but there is another funnel that's come down here. And so they've put another tornado warning out for Jones County. It may be because of this. So we do have a funnel cloud going on. So this is, what road are you on now, Aaron?
Jones County. goes to
This is
215.
completely independent of that other storm.
Okay. So are you looking, you're around the Olin area?
This looks like it might be the Loudon warning. It might be.
Are you looking in the far east?
Yeah, I'm looking directly east.
So there is another cell that's just east of Olin, between Olin and Hale. It's, but it may be the,
Yeah, this is the warning for Loudon and Lost Nation
so that's the
towards
one that's
Makokata.
further that way. So further to the east there. Okay.
Yes.
So that one is out of our
And
area.
I do still see rotation to the north by Olin also.
Okay. So we do have a lot of rotation around here. That's just showing
Like
you,
I'm between two.
that, yeah, we have these storms that are close by. So there's our storm to the he's looking toward the Olin area with, and then the other one to the east, that one's likely the one that's further into Clinton County there. So we have more tornado warnings that continue to get issued here as we have these storms that pass on through the area. And we have Morley, Olin, Center Junction, Scotch Grove, Onslow, east of Anamosa, northwest of Wyoming. You're in this tornado warning goes until 2:15, because we have seen multiple reports here. And I was trying to kind of describe that tornado watch, because I'm just telling you that we've been watching the conditions today. That goes until 8 p.m. I don't imagine that that's going to be the case for us, and really the atmosphere is going to get worked over at this point. But we do have still rotation that's ongoing with these storms, and the possibility that, I mean, what Aaron was seeing was this storm off to the east here toward Makokata, and a funnel cloud that's being produced there. So we're going to have to continue to keep an eye on things and watch what's going on. So I'm just getting a message from Brandon Marshall of a funnel cloud near northeast, looking northeast toward Olin. So I don't have a way of getting that to the air right now, but he sees a funnel cloud looking northeast toward the Olin area. So that's where we've been watching for this rotation going on. And that's where we could still be seeing these storms kind of picking up and so. So the rotation isn't overly strong, but it's possible that we're still seeing some of these storms produce funnel clouds here. So Jones County, new tornado warning does go out until 2:15. Sarah, have we heard anything from the Weather Service?
No.
Okay. No. So we don't have any other, any confirmation, any reports right now. I don't know if Aaron's seeing that same funnel cloud, and I don't know if that was something that Brandon maybe saw a little bit earlier, but we do have still those, the storms that are rotating and going around the area here. And yeah, there's a look near the Olin area, and Aaron's just kind of scanning the sky. So I would imagine he's heading just toward Olin. Aaron, where exactly are you, if you can hear me and answer me?
I'm a mile or so south of Olin.
Okay.
On Highway 38.
On Highway 38. Okay. So
I'm
it's
just in between these two storms.
yeah, you can kind of see a little bit of lowering still going on around there.
Yeah, there's some rotation by Olin, but it's mostly scud just spinning around.
Okay. So not a lot of tight rotation going on, which is what we see on the radar too. And the Weather Service just said they're just saying the environment's still ripe for tornadoes, and that we've seen a couple of these like little weak couplets or rotation markers that have been producing funnel clouds and even tornadoes today. So we've already had one tornado. We've had confirmed damage around the Morley area and around Mechanicsville. And now we're going to continue to watch the storm, which has produced a tornado. Actually, maybe has produced multiple tornadoes, and is going to continue to go to the northeast. And we're going to just have to watch it and see if it does reproduce once again. But seeing some reports of funnel clouds and such from around the area. I'll see if Brandon maybe tweeted that picture, and we can see it. But we do have, we have seen multiple spotters and such report that we've had tornadoes and funnel clouds. Right now, we're not seeing a whole lot of tight rotation going on. So that is good news. But as I was just saying, that we do have still a lot of the spin in the atmosphere, and still the potential that we continue to see some of these tornadoes and funnel clouds that are produced. Then further to the east is where there's this other tornado warning that's ongoing, that's just outside of our area in Maquoketa and heading towards the Maquoketa area, and that's where there may be some additional funnel clouds that have been reported around there. So that warning goes until 2 o'clock, and around Lost Nation is where there's been some rotation of wall clouds and such. But for us, the only warning in our area really is for Jones County here, central part of the county, Anamosa, Monticello, Wyoming. You are not included in this right now, but we've kind of seen this go in a north-northeast direction, and then the rotation would be kind of crossing this Highway 64 just east of Anamosa, south of Amber, and heading to the north toward Amber, Onslow, Scotch Grove, Center Junction areas. So if you live in these areas, you do want to be inside. You don't want to try and look at this ever, but another reason why is because we have a lot of rain still that's falling, and it's possible that we do have a tornado that may be just wrapped in there and difficult to see. We haven't had much more confirmation of any damage or anything like that, and the rotation is not overly strong at the moment. But because we have so much wind shear and rotation, it's possible that we do have just these concerns with the storm reproducing.
We are getting some hail reports west of Anamosa in this storm that's not warned on.
Okay, what has the...
It's been from viewers.
Okay, what is the size of it
About
been?
a half-inch.
Okay, so half-inch hail too we're dealing with, which was also a possibility. When you have rotation in the mid-levels too, that actually is one of the things that produces hail. So we have the storms that spin, and that helps create hail and sends those hailstones higher up in the sky, and leads to the hailstones getting bigger, but we don't see that overly strong right now, that we don't have necessarily a lot of large hailstones coming down, but some hail and some rain happening. We had some rain pass through the Cedar Rapids area, and now it's going through Central City and Walker towards Independence. No other warnings are going on, though. We have a couple of small cells that have formed behind this line, but the atmosphere is likely becoming more stable, meaning it doesn't have a ton of energy for thunderstorms to be created, and this low pressure system is going to move through. So if you've been watching for a while, that has been what we've been talking about as the driving force behind today's storms, this low pressure system that's just passing on through, and that's what's leading to the tornado warnings and the tornadoes in the area. But once that does pass on by, well, we have a concern for the threat that may continue in the northeast part of the area, depending on how much instability we have up here. So that's why we're going to have to continue to watch these storms, and we may have still the possibility of additional storms that develop, but it would be in this environment up here toward Dubuque in the northeast corner of the state into kind of Illinois and southern Wisconsin, where the greater concern is going to be. So we just have to continue to watch these thunderstorms come through the area. But one warning in our area is for Jones County. That goes until 2:15. Now we'll see if they decide to let this go so we can maybe just watch the storm and see if we get any more information. We luckily have a lot of spotters that have been out today, so that has been great news that we can at least get some information. But we don't have a ton of strong rotation that's been ongoing at the moment. So we're going to continue to just watch how this does evolve here and see what the Weather Service decides to do. But I'm not seeing anything overly strong right now. Anything else that you've seen, Sarah?
No, not any pictures or reports at this time.
Could we maybe, if you have that picture from Facebook still that we can see from Mechanicsville
Sure.
earlier, if we have any other videos that we can show.
Sure.
But we'll talk about why we're here, because we're still here and having to talk about some stuff. But we can do that one that's on Twitter.
This one?
But yeah,
Okay. It's
so
near Solon.
if you want to play it, then it's a kind of looking small here, but you can see in the distance there's a possible tornado that was around the Solon area. So that was a while ago, back from when it was in Johnson County. You can see the debris getting kicked up. So that was a tornado that was confirmed. We also had another one in Mechanicsville. So they're still saying that the tornado warning's ongoing because it has produced before, but it would be around the amber area, as I mentioned, where we would be seeing the rotation. So there's amber and center junction, and in between here is some broad rotation, so meaning not very strong, but a little bit maybe southwest of center junction where they're seeing some of the rotation there. Is Aaron still on this storm? Or he can maybe give us a... Okay, so... Okay, well, we will see if we get back to Aaron and see if he can give us a view. And then our producer says that we got a video. I mean, we can play that video and we can see we got some video from Facebook of a tornado. We don't know the location of it, but it's possible this was the one that we were seeing in Mechanicsville earlier. But you can definitely see that lowering coming down to the ground and the tornado there. So we'll work to see if we can get some information about where that came from. But this is why we're here, why we're talking about stuff. It's because we have seen tornadoes today. We have had reports of damage. Aaron, our very own and the Road Warrior, saw it himself, the damage out there. So that is why we have to continue to talk about this storm here that's coming on through. So Jones County is the warning in our area, and it's around the amber to center junction area where there is still some broad rotation going on. Not a ton, but enough that we do have to continue to watch the storm because it has been cycling or kind of changing intensities here and there as we head through the we've gone through the last hour or so around here. So we do have this concern still for a tornado to be produced. Now we do have the tornado warning until 2:15, and that is still the only one in our area for Jones County, and likely still dealing with a lot of rain that's falling with that storm there. So Aaron's back, and well, there's kind of a little funnel cloud high up in the sky. What have you been seeing out there with the storm, Aaron?
I've just been seeing the bases are kind of high and flat. And you're getting a little bit of rotation up there still, but it's almost like the atmosphere has already been run through around there, and you're just getting funnel clouds. I can't see any wall cloud attached to that rotation right there.
Yeah. So earlier we were seeing the cloud bases that were a lot lower to the ground. And now it's lifted up a little bit higher, and maybe there's a little bit that's still ongoing here of the rotation trying to kind of get going around the area. But this, and you're on Highway 38, and this is, I'm guessing, by the Olin area,
this
or
is kind of
past Olin?
southeast of Olin.
Southeast of Olin. So
yeah, southeast of Olin.
Not a ton of lowering, not that strong. We were seeing some pretty rapid rotation earlier, but we don't have anything that's really overly just indicative of rotation at the moment here with this storm. So we do have still a thunderstorm that could produce a tornado once again here. This is on Highway 38. So we're going to just continue to keep an eye on that as it comes on through. So 38 and north of 38 basically, and east of 151, east of Anamosa, around Amber is where the rotation is still ongoing. But the Weather Service is just saying we've seen multiple reports so far today. I've definitely seen this rotation kind of loosen up, which is nicer. So that is definitely a sign that we have some improvement in this storm, that maybe it's starting to weaken some in terms of rotation, but we do have still a lot of, we've had a lot of reports so far today. So that's why we're going to have to just continue to keep an eye on it. But that's the one warning in our area, which is good news, and that goes until 2:15. But a wider picture here, we have some of these thunderstorms that are still ongoing. We have another tornado warning that's in the Maquoketa area, another one east of Davenport, another one even further to the east of Clinton. And this low pressure system is continuing to move on through, whipping these storms up to the northeast. That's where most of this is occurring right now. And it's basically north of Highway 30 where the thunderstorm activity is. And that's also where we do have this tornado watch that has been posted. And I would imagine it's going to be let go earlier than 8 p.m., which is when it's issued to, if you're seeing that on your phone or anything. But that is for the eastern part of the area, which is where we have the greatest concern for tornadoes today as this low pressure system moves through. But I'm going to imagine that east of the Mississippi, maybe still some of our far northeastern counties is where we're still going to have some of that threat, but it's going to depend on if the atmosphere has recovered that way, because we did have showers and thunderstorms earlier today. So thunderstorms continue. So the tornado warning continues until 2:15. And we have yet to see any additional reports. So it's been probably, I don't know, 20 minutes since we've actually had something that's been produced. But we are going to just continue to keep an eye on that storm system, because it has produced damage, it has produced tornadoes so far today, and possibly multiple tornadoes. So this is right around the Anamosa, just east of Anamosa area. Really not a lot of rotation here, just toward the Scotch Grove area. So that's where we're going to have to just continue to monitor and see if it does pick up in intensity at all. And Sarah has a picture here. Is this from Mechanicsville?
This is from Morse. So
Morse. So that's where we were talking about earlier. If you go to our P-scan do here, and you can see there's a, looks like a grain bin maybe damaged over here in the distance. And now you can see the blue skies that have passed on through as that storm system's come on in. But there's some damage that happened, likely tornado damage from what we've been reporting and seeing from that storm. So we do still have that tornado warning, but no current tornado on the ground or confirmation of a funnel cloud or anything like that. And the rotation is certainly loosened. Is Aaron still out there? Or if we can get a view of the road warrior and hear from him maybe.
Dead zone right now.
All right, so.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What are you seeing?
I think I'm just seeing a lot of, it's a non-rotating wall cloud, just a lot of scud that's uplifting into the base of the storms of what's left. I don't really see any rotation on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, there's a little bit of lowering there.
But it's hard to say. This is kind of Oxford Junction-y.
Yeah. Center Junction, maybe?
Yeah, or let me, I'll double check my map here. Yeah, it's towards Oxford Junction.
Okay. So we do have now the Weather Service letting go of this tornado warning. They've let it go. So we do have, we saw just there's really not much happening. There is this tornado warning that's existing to the east in Clinton and Jackson counties. We no longer have any warnings that have been issued for our area. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on the situation today. We may see some additional storms that redevelop and cycle back up. But for now, we're going to let it go back to regular programming. We still have a tornado watch that is out until 8 p.m. for the area, for the eastern part of the area. So we'll continue to keep an eye on these thunderstorms. If anything else does happen, any more warnings are issued, we will let you know. You can also get the latest updates on our Facebook page and on Twitter at Iowa's News Now. But for now, we'll take it back to regular programming.